TSM with their follow-up ban coming your way right now. And once again, it's Giannis.
Shot Ionic, though, with that Geb ban as well. So that means that they could ban Sylvanas here, or they could leave it up and take it themselves.
Sylvanas did not seem to be an issue in the last game.
Sylvanas didn't do much.
Here we go. Ao Kwang, available still. Ratatoska, available still as well. Those are just already available.
Also, will Fnatic first pick Bologna if left available, right?
And there's a third one, Bologna. So one of those three is definitely going to get through.
I'm actually a little surprised to see Fnatic go into that first pick position. It feels like with the gods that they want to ban here, like, well, I guess they're going to put the pressure onto TSM to ban or ban Ao Kwang or let it through. And then if they ban the Ao Kwang, expectation is that they'll take the Bologna, because Europe seems to value that, maybe even the Amir in that position, which means that Sylvanas may be going the way of TSM.
Now, when we look through the whole of SPL, and you talk about Sylvanas here, TSM, throughout the whole SPL, the only priority pick they ever went for was the support role. Everything else was random. I mean, they left Devios to last pick, which is kind of standard for a solo laner, but the other three always intermingled, whereas support was always picked very, very early on in competitions.
Well, one of the things about TSM is that so many of their players play so many gods at a high level, especially Gars really being the linchpin there, where Gars has like 3 or 4 gods that he can play pretty much at world-class level, and it's just, you can't really ban them out. You can't ban Serket and Thor every game.
I think that's the issue with TSM as well, is that they're all individual stars in the role. They're all designed to win lanes, but if nobody wins lane, when it comes to team fights, they're not as strong as they could be against some of the teams that are all team fight focused.
Which is awkward.
Like
considering
Fnatic.
this team, its roots came from like the perfect play was kind of what we always talked about them. Like their communication and their team fight vision was always so good, and that's how they used to win their games.
But I mean, Boosh used to play Raw. We used to see the Thor dunk down into the Raw snaps, or the Kukulkan, now, Ao Kwang, now Kukulkan.
I'm actually surprised to not see those mages like Raw and Kukulkan valued more with their objectives secure.
I agree.
Yeah,
I expect
especially
to see them
Raw with the heal. It's
I mean,
huge.
Raw seems so on meta right now. Surprising not seeing picked up. I mean, I think that's maybe just more of a testament to the immaturity of this patch than it is to the relative value of each of those guys.
I think that's more of a give it time more than anything else. We'll see the Raws come out a little bit more. We'll see the Golfure and Fire Giants getting secured more by the mages more than anything else. From the, especially with, obviously, we've all talked about this, and this is why Hog's not getting bought anymore, is because it's not valuable to the supports. People don't think it's worthwhile picking up. But the threat of the mages stealing it away isn't there yet, because we're not seeing the mages that can steal it being picked.
Yeah, I mean, well, but you still saw, right, like, Sylvanas was the primary target in all of the fights that they were trying to kill. I mean, it's there's still a lot of value in taking that Guardian out before the objective, not inclusive of the Hog.
I think some of that is because they're on the mindset of like kill support.
Kill the Hog guy, yeah.
But the Hog guy's no longer there. It should be kill a mage.
Well, Guardians also have a ton of CC, and they engage the fights for the most part. So if they take them out,
the engage is gone.
They can't engage onto the objective. So that's why a lot of people like take the Guardians out before.
Makes perfect sense.
Unless you pick Bologna and Amir and then you just never stop fighting.
Never stop fighting, ever.
Well, hey, we're into the picks here now. Ao Kwang was, of course, the final ban there on the side of TSM. Bologna selected Thor Amir. The response from TSM, taking the Amir away from Fnatic, seems like a nice choice, but they'll respond with a Freya Serket of their own.
Serket, one of Captain Twig's go-to gods for the most part as well. Probably one of the most stable ones he's got as well in the jungle as well. He's very mobile on this, able to jump in and out, and sometimes he can really work out for him, but there's a Jean... That's a Rom. I thought it was a Jean Kui for a second. My opponent is like, no.
Hades going to be banned out by TSM, because surprisingly enough, I mean... TSM banning Hades?
Maniac will play it. Maniac will play it solo lane quite happily. And Devios, I don't think Devios wants to have to deal with it. That's what it's looking like here. Devios wants to counter pick, and Hades always stalemates lane, doesn't he? I mean, he doesn't lose lane.
Yeah, and Hades is also really good against Thor. So that's why as well.
Yeah, Silent Spheres, yeah. It does look like Isis was banned out by Fnatic here as well. A little bit of a technical difficulty, unfortunately, that... was unable to get locked in there, but Isis was banned out by Fnatic as their final ban.
It wasn't an Isis ban. I mean, Isis as well, take it off the table, away from them. Don't give them the opportunity to try and pick something very safe in the mid lane as well. And we're going to see TSM actually picking up Agni in place there.
Yeah, it looks like we're doing this old school style.
It looks like this is old
TSM takes Agni to help round out their lineup. And Agni obviously synergizes really well with Amir. I mean, we saw the difference between Paradigm playing the Agni and when Paradigm was not selecting it, just their ability to kind of capitalize on those initiations.
That's a lot of CC that we can see on TSM already. Agni, Thor, and Ymir all in the same lineup too. Taking away Hades, obviously going to influence that too, because not being able to Hades for the front line, engage and cause issues.
Yeah, indeed. So, well, as the next pick is pending for Fnatic here, waiting to see what they use. What are they going to pair with the Freya is kind of the big question here.
Well, we're going to have to see. I mean, I don't know. What would you really pick? Well, with Freya and Lane? I mean, in fairness, we could potentially see an Ares come out.
I guess it's the Bologna maybe going to that support role with her. Some would call him to be the final pick on the side of Fnatic, and TSM rounding out with Thor as well. So Gar's going to be reprising his role as the jungler.
Yep, we'll see how he can play off in that one between the two. I mean, these
Amir, Agni, Thor is a lot of lockdown, and I think Aurora's right on the mark with the Hades ban being targeted at, really freeing up the Thor, less so about the solo lane.
I think we've got also the solo lane as well. I mean, you don't lose lane, and then maybe DVS versus Maniac is a long history together now. Every lane they've started the shout-outs against each other during the games as well, like, come on, DVS, yeah, come on, Maniac. We see that a lot between the two, so I think DVS feels comfortable. As long as Maniac's not on something too comfortable, he can win.
I think that sounds all right. Although, I mean, Osiris, I don't think that's really anybody's favorite comfort pick right now. I mean, you select Osiris when you need him for your composition, less that's who I want.
I think with Osiris in that game, they weren't sure where everyone was going. They couldn't work out whether it was going to be Nox solo, Apollo solo,
much less us.
Wash solo.
Yeah.
It's where are they all going?
Get something that can buy Runeforge Hammer instead of Gaia and just get a bunch of HP and let's tank it all up.
Well, now we'll be able to see on your screens, guys, as we get into game, exactly who is playing what and where they're going. Apologies for the technical issues, but here we go.
Well, it's Fnatic versus TSM, as you can see on the scoreboard. 1-0 in favor of the boys of Fnatic, sitting in the order side, bottom side of the minimap, left side of the spectator UI. Of course, their opponents are TSM in the red trunks, top side of the minimap, right side of your spectator UI. And as Divio's playing the Hercules as the final selection for TSM.
Bit of a throwback here on
What's up with the pots, man? This is crazy. Look at Captain Twig's loadout.
Just gone full pots?
Multi-pots.
Multi-pots and a red pot.
Right, the reason he's gone multi-potions here, though, is just because he's gone for the red pot.
Yeah, of course.
I mean,
no, I'm looking at
both.
2 red pots on the side of Fnatic.
But we saw that the last series as well, when we saw the other 2 teams play stuff against each other, there was double pot on both of those teams, potions in the jungle too.
So, I mean, it makes a lot of sense, obviously, on a Maniac. Cat stun with a red pot is 800 damage at level 1. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's really effective. And I think they're just looking to clear the jungle out very, very quickly, just in case they do get invaded as well. I think that's always the threat. I mean, Hercules Thor invasion against the Circa and the Sun Wukong, I'd favor Hercules and Thor here.
It's funny, right? Because Divios goes from this super finesse mage with no sustain to potato Hercules.
Well,
I never leave the lane.
I was talking to some of the players earlier, and they were talking about Hercules in the solo lane. Not as strong as he once was, just because now no one's getting hog. You've not got the wave clear effectiveness on Hercules either. On top of that, because you don't need hog anymore, you're seeing more weakening curses coming out, which just cripples his survivability, which is one thing that Hercules really relies on in the late stages.
Well, underway here. Looks like it's going to be fairly standard start here. Maybe a triple camp start. You can see Boosh soloing off that back camp, which you saw with Agni at a Paradigm earlier.
Yeah, they're taking the Paradigm start, and that's cool to see that they're adapting throughout the entire tournament.
You can get the experience of both those camps if you pull them near enough to each other. Now that we changed experience levels back to the range we used to have, you can see that we're starting to see more transitions from this. But we did see Fnatic manage to pick up those right-hand harpies ahead of time, and the lefts as well, I believe.
I wonder if TSM was doing that in scrims, and they're really mad now that we called it the Paradigm start. Because
they played first.
Because they played first. Who knows? Who knows? No. But, I mean, if you're looking to take something away for your own game at home, that's a really good one to take away.
I think we're going to see multiple different starts all through this weekend.
I think we will as well.
And eventually one will probably come to the prime as well. But the others, I think they're all effective in their own different ways.
Well, generally speaking, for pub play, whatever the thing is that gives you the most, the greediest thing you can possibly do is probably what you should do.
For public play, just follow the other guys and just hope they go into the right place.
I hope they know what they're doing.
I'm going to be behind in lane because they chose to do, purple or whatever as a whole team.
Well, Reels once again as the Freya. And Freya Bologna. I mean, out of nowhere, just skyrocketing to the most popular lane for Europe. I mean, we've seen both European teams now run it exclusively when available.
But I mean, I don't feel the clear's that strong on the two of them as well. I mean, I guess Bologna with Blood.
It's not. It's that shenanigans. It's the disarm and a Valkyrie's discretion is just you're never killing her because she gets the lifesteal out of it. Even if you ever dot it, it's just very, very unreliable to get the kill.
And you also have a lot of slows coming out of that lane. So if they do catch somebody out,
good point. The slows.
They're gonna slow them forever. They have the weakening curse and so we
have Twiggy.
Well,
yikes.
We do see Zero's playing Poseidon as well. Now, one thing I want to know about is Poseidon, last time we saw him at LAN, did not have a very good showing on this god. Missed a couple of big crashes.
European Poseidons have struggled as a whole, it seems like.
We have.
After Shadow Nightmare came out and had that one game at the beginning of the split that we went 17-3, it really fell off when we haven't seen the high-impact Poseidon play coming out of Europe. Granted, we haven't seen much of it in North America either. The god, while still being very high valued, hasn't had that value. Gonna get a couple extra pot shots out of the tower here is Divios, but Maniac with that red pot, clearing the wave just fine. But keep your eyes up, right? If Twig or Maniac falls here anytime in the next couple of minutes, it's a huge, huge gold swing.
A huge swing indeed. Now, one thing about the Poseidon as well, going to be effective against the Ymir, especially in the support role as well, just because Ymir wants to get up in your face and freeze, and if he gets hit by that Kraken, not a lot of mobility.
Yeah, it'll be troublesome for him. But for the second time in 2 games, Captain Twig pulling ahead of guards. You can see him using that ultimate here. Divios, he's dead.
He is dead. Bursted down immediately early on. This is the benefit of this meta as well, is the fact that the jungler can rotate to the solo and not be threatened with the Gold Fury loss.
That kill literally brought to you by Red Pod, right? They take if they don't have that combination of those 2 potions on the Sun Wukong and the Circuit, it's likely they don't have enough damage to actually kill the highly resistant to physical steel mail wielding Hercules.
That's a really good point though, because this red pot start, you're looking to abuse the jungle, get it off quicker, and then try and abuse it before it runs out and get a kill if possible.
Twig did it perfectly. He was a level ahead of Thor. Thor had no ability to follow that one up. Hit level 5, got a kill.
Yeah, and Divios dying that early is bad because he has to go into the teleport 1.
Oh yeah.
He can't get the teleport 2, and he's in that awkward spot right before he picks up the mystical mail. So he's going to be really, really weak until he finishes that mystical mail.
Well, it's Rise of Sun Wukong as well for EU here. I mean, we saw Zalia play a couple of times today. We've seen it previously, but Maniac bringing that out as well. Not something we've seen too much out of him. It looks like, you know, the solo laners from EU starting to look for the just constantly in your face. Not necessarily going to be able to kill you potentially, but...
Yeah, I know they were scrimming each other yesterday, so they were scrim partners for this weekend. So maybe they figured out like Bellona and Wukong are like the new picks for
Bellona,
this
Freya, Wukong, let's go.
They had the EU conference and they decided
Yeah.
Bellona, Freya, and Sun Wukong.
Yeah.
Don't worry about your mid, they won't ban it.
Yeah,
And
everyone shook hands.
Yeah.
Everyone decided.
And then Titan were like, 1, 2, 3, Titan!
Yeah. And Titan was like, okay, Ares, right? Ares is the thing. Ares.
Ares, if they were going to pick your mid, then we'll go Ares. No, Ares doesn't work against your mid. Don't do that. It's a bad idea. Everyone at home too, don't do that. But 1-0 for Fnatic now. A little bit of a lead. Obviously, the first blood still very effective in the amount of gold and experience you get from it. It's just the kills after that drop off a little bit.
First blood. It was credited to Circuit there as we reach 4 minutes and 20 seconds into this game, guys. XP and gold still tied about 500. Basically the credit of that first blood going the way of Fnatic here. They are the blue squad here. Red squad, of course, team solo bit down 1-0. And yeah, I mean, momentum-wise, it'd be great for them to win this game, but obviously they do need to win 3 to get eliminated here. But I mean, Divios, he's kind of getting had here by Maniac.
This game as a whole, though, when I'm actually looking at the compositions on paper, what we see is we see TSM, big front line, big heavy engage, big team fight potential. What we see on the other side, Fnatic, very, very mobile, able to skirmish, get in and out of the battle, get low, disengage. They can all have the ability to do that. And it's going to be about, can TSM find the full kill, or will the Fnatic be able to just keep kiting?
So it's weird. Maniac just backed and picked up Steel Mail. I think he was afraid of a gank because he did have a blue buff and he was full health. So I'm surprised he didn't farm more before he backed. But I guess he was worried about getting ganked. Yeah.
It's a good call to do it as well. I mean, you do see that Hercules was going to back as well. I mean, so Hercules already had the Steel Mail online as well.
Yeah,
so.
look how long Divios is sitting in the well here to get that mystical mail online.
He had time though because the wave was pushed up.
Yeah, he does.
It's definitely worth to do that for sure.
But now, you know, a bit of free farm for Maniac here. Red pot's going to be wearing off. Yes, they are off now as we approach 5.5 minutes. They pop those around probably the start of camps. About 4-minute duration on those pots as well. So, been down for a bit here.
A little bit of an advantage now for Reals. He's got the Hasten Fatalis finished. Rama, Snoopy actually has the Devour's Gauntlets online. Takes a little bit longer to be really effective, but a bit of aggression coming out. No, that's a lie. They're in their own jungle.
No.
I'm excited.
Just taking their own jungle.
Why am I getting excited about EU invading?
That I don't know.
Before 10 minutes. That's not good.
But once again here, we're seeing you know, a lot of beads purchased on the side of TSM and a blink here and there. Blink, as we mentioned in Game 1, has become more and more popular as an active, and wouldn't be surprised to see several blinks coming out this go round here. But
the creeping curse already online as well, starting to be worked on by that Bellona as well, played by Badger. Keep an eye on that. That's going to go weakening curse for Divios. And I don't think Divios is going to have a great game on this. I think he's going to start realizing that Hercules is going to struggle in this meta.
Yeah, it's going to definitely have a tough time. Here we go. Badger, they're going to tee off on him. They're going to get some nice damage, but the Kraken comes out onto Ionic. He's going to try to use his ultimate to avoid that one, but he won't. It'll be a second blood going the way of Fnatic as well. That one looked pretty easy. Dunking it now is Thor on top of the ROM damage, but Circuit going to use the ultimate bomb. Enough to kill her before she's able to dash out of that one. Boosh getting the return kill.
Snoopy made such a good play that he knew the dunk was coming in from Thor at the same time.
Divios gets the pluck. Can he find the stun as well? He's crippled out in the Whirlpool, trying to make it out. Is Maniac Bird form coming near? No, he's going to go for the ultimate. Now healing up. Backside, ROM in a lot of trouble. Snoopy gets isolated out by Reals. Reals presses the gas pedal, moves forward as Freya trying to close the distance now. Driving strike onto 3. Divios doing what he can. Do they have the CC or the banish to keep him there? They're going to use Whirlpool to zone him into that mid pit, and down he will go. Divios taking a second spill this game. Maniac now the one isolated, but I'm not sure that TSM feels themselves enough to move in. Here goes Blink over the wall, Ionic, Glacial Strike, and Freeze combination of the wall, and that's going to be a return kill into Badger, but it's ultimately a 3-for-2 trade in favor of Fnatic.
Fnatic played that so well because Maniac rotated all the way from the solo lane, and he baited so hard for the boys in the duo lane to bring down Snoopy before the rest of the team showed up. Reels could then rotate in, forced to fight.
Yeah, you saw all the slows like doing so much work in those fights. The Creeping Curse, Bologna saw the Pulse.
Yep.
TSM's having trouble with these slows. I'm going to expect to see at least 1 or 2 Heavenlies coming out of them this game.
Well, they're going to have to see the Heavenly at some point, at least on one of them. Rama, not picked anything up yet, has Snoopy in terms of sprint. Will he go for the same path as he did on Apollo last game round? We'll wait to see. But one thing to know, though, he did actually opt in for Rama this game instead of the Apollo.
4-2, guys. We approach the 8-minute mark here. Fnatic, as you saw in that last engagement, having a bit more luck in this early game here. I call it luck, but it's definitely calculated plays. Those 2 red pots, I mean, factoring in so huge here to get them this early lead, but can they capitalize on it is a question. Divios Mystical Mail completed, as you saw in the last engagement. Not very effective against the magic damage comp from Fnatic, and obviously not doing much to handle Reels' Freya here. Net worth-wise, once again, Captain Twig leading all players.
Captain Twig doing a great job of farming the jungle. He's the one abusing the current meta where the jungle is so valuable, can get a lot of farm from it. And he's even managing to still get involved in the team fights too, which is big for the whole team as a whole.
You know what? Is it Fnatic prioritizing Captain Twig's farm, or is it Captain Twig mechanically doing something different than other junglers?
I think he's just starting to get the mechanical mindset of a jungler now, finally. I mean, it wasn't like he didn't have it before, but he's starting to hit that stride now of constantly being in the jungle, constantly playing the game. And I guess when you play a role for so long, you start to understand the intricacies.
Yeah, and they're also splitting really well. Like him and Zero's, perfect splits all game. That's really good. Divios is going to ult.
Did Divios miss the minion wave assault? No, he hit it.
No, he hit it.
I was like,
just us from
damn, dude, the struggle life.
Yeah. Well, left halfies are spawning very, very soon on this as well. TSM in a little bit of position here. Ionic on his way over. Playing Ymir as well. Have you seen much Ymir on Ionic before? Because generally we would see Geb, Sylvanas, Athena.
Yeah, he's actually played Ymir against me once in lane. His Ymir is pretty good. I know he prefers more of the defensive guys. Oh, we might get a fight here in the dual lane.
Reel's in a bit of trouble here. Valkyrie's discretion available. Gonna use it.
That's early.
Trying to land the shots, heal it up a bit, but Bologna coming with the chain slow, and that's enough to peel for Reels.
Yeah, but now on the backside you can actually see Captain Twig looking for the pick on Ionic. The boy Boosh trying to help out his teammate. The slows have been effective on him though, but now Boosh needs to watch his position.
To run. Yeah.
Because Zeros is coming.
Yeah, he was about to get closed in on there, and wisely Boosh gonna move away. And he throws out an air Agni Bomb. Because, hey, why not?
But the one thing to note in that Gadka as well is you see how Reels just hesitated in the air. He didn't drop all his bombs so he could stay in the lead the maximum amount of time. He was just buying himself time for the rotation, really.
Oh, yeah. Divios, what were you doing there, bud?
Looks like he was trying to rotate in. It's going to be a bit of an awkward spot as the Eagles rally. Kraken combination. Divios is no more in the Boosh. Well, he tries to make some damage back, but not going to find anything for now.
And the disengage coming out from TSM there. Really a free pick.
So what happened in comms there is they called the Circuit ult down because he ulted Ionic. So Divios felt like he could just walk in because there's no healing reduction. But they have a Poseidon as well, and Poseidon Kraken was still up. So he pretty much just walked into Poseidon Kraken and got picked off by that.
I mean, the pick on Hercules, the pick of Hercules, I'm so confused by it. I mean, if you get to Poseidon, very, very good against Hercules.
Oh, going to go over the air here is Gars looking for the play. They should be able to find it, trying to find Twig as he moves back into tower. Wants to find the multi-man stun. No, they call off the initiation from Gars.
Patience coming out again from Gars. We saw it the first time around in the jungle, but they found the pick on Circuit. This time...
Why did they disengage her, though? No Kraken.
Because Ymir was just getting slowed and CC'd the entire time. He couldn't find a freeze, or he couldn't find a good slow there. So Gars couldn't find a good ult at all.
That reliable ultimate.
The slows right now are playing like big part into Fnatic being able to kite them and live as much as they are against this TSM comp.
There's still some ways from a winged blade out onto the side of that Ymir as he's still working into what appears to be a sovereignty.
Reel's going to head back to lane now as well. Has Fatalis and the shoes of the mid-jet finish, so some penetration online as well for this god, which will start bursting down this wave. As you can see, a lot quicker.
2 of those early 5 kills going to the credit of Reels, helping him accelerate his farm quite nicely there. Another thing I want to point out on the slash marks, Bologna and Sun Wukong, most notably Sun Wukong being played by Maniac, involved in 4 of their 5 kills out of the solo lane. That's a hell of a feat.
That was that big rotation over. I mean, that bought the team time, and he got involved in that, picked up some kills for himself.
This could be bad for Ionic right here. Oh, okay. It looks like he's going back to the soul lane.
I think they're calling Agni missing from mid there, and so they don't want to aggress as most of TSM is over here. 4 mana bait coming out of this blue buff.
It's big in for a blue buff, though. I don't know. I think Fnatic should just give this up, push out mid lane. Poseidon's not going to be there.
Well, they needed something to do while they were all over there.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, the whole team rotates for it. It's a little bit of experience stolen away, but is it enough?
You make get picked here.
Yeah, Mir in some trouble here, and noticing that it's Fnatic as well. They're going to try to engage, getting quite low as Gars. Eagles rally not on the mark. Neither is Kraken. Gars in a lot of trouble here. Yeah, he's down. Unlikely makes it out of this one. Indeed, boom goes the Dynamite. Channeling his ultimate is Ionic. They'll find a bit of damage on Zyros here. Can they secure this one? Ionic, well, he's looking like he's a little bit like he's lost here as he's trying to find that kill.
He got a good wall down onto Zeros to keep him in play, so Devious can find it with a Mystical Mail and actually trade that one out, but Captain Twig is back.
Oh, Devious just trying to run away from this one. Will he get taunted out? Real's going to take some damage. He's zoned out by Amir. Still fighting there as Devious falling quite low. Over the top comes Sun Wukong. Will it be enough? Boosh very low as well. Boosh, run away! Oh, he just gets cudgeled to the face. Hate to see that happen.
Yeah, and now Real's managed to push down that mid wave as well. Going to put some pressure on there.
Can he solo the Gold Fury at this point?
No, I don't think so. No, not at this stage. Especially with the changes to how lifesteal works. You don't get as much from the Gold Fury. Will hurt him too much.
That was a great Thor hammer by Gars there. If he wasn't able to get out of that Kraken, the fight would have went in Fnatic's favor like 100%.
Just avoided that Kraken in time, and he bought his team enough time to get back in position then, really. I mean, he still goes down, but he got Devious in that fight to help turn it.
Yeah.
The important thing here for TSM is to kind of realize that they're only down about 1,000 golden experience here, right? It's starting to slide away from it. 7 kills to 3. Fnatic's had a lot of map pressure and have really successfully executed their strategy so far, but they have to find the wherewithal and realize that this one's really still very, very close.
It is, but then if this keeps going the way it's going, we're going to see the opportunity.
It won't be close for long, yeah.
Well, I mean, if that happens again, Reals will be able to solo Gold Fury next time. And that's when the issue is going to develop, because the gold's going to start favouring Fnatic more and more, especially as these engagements continue. I think Devious is really going to struggle on Hercules this game. I think he's against a Poseidon, against a Circuit, and a Weakening Curse. It's a hard life to be a Hercules.
It's a hard game to be a melee, really, this one, going up against Fnatic.
Mm-hmm.
Just the amount of damage you're going to take getting in and out of the fight from Maniac is going to be pretty significant here. Snoopy trying to man up versus Reals, but forced to roll away.
Very, very rare that you see those two hunters go at each other as well. I mean, Snoopy's very aggressive, but Reals is always calculated in those too.
Can we pull up the golden hand? I think Freya hasn't backed in a while. Yeah, she has 1,500, 1,600 gold right now, so she's going to back and finish an item very soon.
Demonic Grip.
Yeah, it'll be Demonic Grip, which is a little over 2k gold, so getting very, very close to me will finish that one off. Certainly has enough to get the rank 2.
I think that's exactly what we saw from Snoopy there. He wanted to go aggressive and try and like feel out because he knew he'd not backed, trying to abuse the item advantage that he's working on that Igfal a little bit quicker. So the extra attack speed trying to pay off, but in the jungle,
Gars is going to be the one in a bit of trouble here this time, as Captain Twig beads away instantly that Amir freeze, now showing off some of that circuit mobility. Devious once again isolated and hit by the Kraken, getting piled in on. He's going to take yet another spill here. Mitigate wounds doing quite a bit to keep him up. Oh my god, he's still alive. Is he going to somehow survive through this one? Zeros gets Driving Strike, running away still is Devious. He's going to live. Now it's Gars in a lot of trouble. He's starting to take the damage and will not be able to pour it out in time. Maniac credited with that kill. It's Ionic now isolated on an island trying to run out. Devious is healed back up with Mitigate wounds. They're going to try to go into Maniac. Maniac quite low on mana as well. Can they find the kill? Jingu Bang, Boulder as well. There it is. They get the return kill, but at what cost there? They give up quite a bit for that kill on the Maniac.
They do. Reals trading off with Snoopy in the jungle. Snoopy out of mana. Reals half health, can sustain back up thanks to the passive. They'll disengage from that. But in the jungle though, Devious, if you notice, he went aggressive the moment Circuit ult was down, so they didn't have the massive combo of no sustain, Kraken combo.
Yeah, I feel like Circuit there was trying to zone the team, and they were going to try to pick Devious. As soon as Devious got his wounds off and they started healing, that's when the fight went in TSM's favor. Yeah.
Really good.
Shout out to the Silver Talisman.
Silver Talisman on, and the Mystical Mail too. I mean, he was just still dealing damage while juking out all that in the midst of it too.
That's just Devios' signature move. Just put the dance shoes on when you have the wounds on.
But the team turned up exactly right. I mean, what we actually saw there was Captain Twig looked like he was out of position, had to use his ultimate to disengage, but he baited 3 men into a bad, awkward position while Devious was getting 3v1'd. Problem is, they couldn't kill the hook.
Let's talk about itemization here quickly. TSM, a little bit curious to see Boosh going into Book of Thoth here. It seems like doesn't really have the momentum. I mean, this thing's going to be really late.
We see a lot of Book of Tophs coming out from the Aggies in the mid lane.
Yeah, we've seen it being very popular, but I mean, it's 16 minutes here before he hadn't finished it yet. You want that item at like 12.
Yeah, Book of Thoth, the stacks don't really give that much power. Once you get it, it's just going to give you a lot of power overall. The higher level you are, the more power you're going to get because you're going to have more mana. So picking up now is not a bad thing at all for him.
No, it's more his ability to fight now with it, considering how this one's going. I mean,
shouldn't we go with Spear? I mean, if he would have gone Spear here, the penetration and as well as the damage you would get off from that might be a little bit more effective is what we're trying to say. But I mean, maybe Toph's okay?
Yeah, they don't have a lot of magic defense items, so I think Thoth is the better choice here overall because he's not going to really be penetrating as much with the spear.
Well, Boosh actually going into Aegis here as well. One of the items we don't see very often, but it is up against the Kraken. Yeah, that's the big key.
And you know what's kind of interesting here is that this game continues on. TSM is putting more and more and more eggs into that basket of ROM. I mean, it's looking more and more like this is going to be the Snoopy game if they're going to win.
But he's not looking uncomfortable in that lane against Reels. It's not often I see a Reels at half health in a lane and still, you know, in a rough situation there. I mean, he's already in that lane, been forced out a couple of times. Not necessarily forced out, but he did have a lot of golden hand that he not
No,
spent.
Rom's a better laner than Freya
That's true,
overall.
of course, yeah.
They do have the Bologna and the Wukong for Rom late game, so it will be hard. Ooh, a gank's coming on right now.
No, just pops the sprint, jukes it a bit. It's not going to be enough to find the kill. It's just an ultimate used by Captain Twig, certainly
But
called out in the
Beats
TSM
one.
comms.
Beats 1 is really big
Beats
there. 180 seconds, very, very long cooldown, and we can see...
And he didn't need to use it, which was maybe the most important thing there, right? Like, they don't have the Thanatos, they don't have the Thor that can really follow up on that ultimate.
On top of that, Freya had already used Pulse as well, so that was on cooldown. But in the jungle again, Circuit trading out. No ultimate this time, though.
Yeah, it takes that percentage damage out of Circuit there. And yeah, it's a little bit of a
Thor's
warning.
going up.
Oh, Thor going up. They want to fight this one. In he comes. He is going to find the hit onto Reels, but Reels immediately into
Instant
Valkyrie's
beats.
discretion, able to zone him back. Rom takes the sky.
Snoopy.
Oh, Snoopy, please.
Finds
No,
the
it's
last
not enough
shot.
to get
If
the
he
kill. He's
finds
going to go
the
for the last shot. Shoots it off. Does hit there.
Like the call to not go for the last hit. He was blind. He missed a second one, and they're still trying to find a pick in the jungle here because if they can catch Badger, Go Fury is a real opportunity.
Slow onto Badger. Oh, Yannick, we're going to talk about that one later, bud. Yikes. Yikes. I can hear Incon laughing from here.
I got nothing. I can't say anything now. What would you, Aro, that happens to you sometimes,
That's just
right?
a bad feeling. Like so he overblinked. He might have had his cursor and it might have like flipped up a little bit by accident. Like there's like a lot of things. It just it happens with support.
What you
yeah.
just said there is a support saving another support. In terms of like,
Well, I mean, hey, look to me. I mean, you're at land, right?
It happens though.
You're not at
Yeah.
your house with your 19-foot mouse pad and your like 8 sensitivity, right? You know, you're playing in a smaller space. You're playing with in a live environment, nerves. So it's
I
it
play
happens.
with no mouse pad.
I mean,
Do you play with no mouse
No
pad?
mouse
Oh,
pad.
you're a
you're
maniac.
disgusting. And DM probably.
Probably.
But I mean, the blink from Ionic was good there. I expect him to just body block and stick the wall down if he needed to.
Yeah.
Just cut off the option. But he went for the freeze, and as soon as the freeze is gone, the whole gank potential just kind of disappears.
Yeah, I feel like he thought he was gonna end up in front of him, but he just overshot it with like something could have like who
It
knows.
happens. Well,
yeah.
Golfier's going to get started by Fnatic here. Ionic is swinging.
Oh, he's got a
in
chance
on
to
this
redeem
unit.
himself now.
Is he going to?
No, he's not going in.
His
No
blink's
way.
down.
He doesn't have blink. He doesn't
Yeah,
have a
he might-
what? No way! He stole it!
The redemption of Ionic is here. He'll go down.
He dies.
But can they make
Oh
him pay
my
more?
god, they're gonna lose 2 here. It looks like Snoopy in some trouble as well. Dashing back through his circuit, but here comes Divios, knocking them back. The chainsaw from Agni, and this is what we're talking about in the composition. And Divios just zoning out Reels, perfectly happy to eat that during his mitigate wounds. Look at the damage out of the Rom ultimate onto 2. Can they find the bomb? No, not gonna stun there on the backside. It's Snoopy in a lot of trouble. They lost sight of their hunter and unable to peel for him as they chase the kills underneath the tier 1. Now the fight continues. TSM spin to win is there, but the Kraken hits 2. Not enough, does get the knockup onto Divios, who's now banished, taking the damage under tower, tries to get aggressive onto Reels, back on the other side towards the tier 2. He's gonna get walked down by the Freya, and now the fight continues. Catston comes out, immediately beads away by Thor. Is it gonna be enough? Up into the sky, over the top, but porting away his guards, now trying to turn his attention back is Maniac, but Boosh is out. The fight is disengaged. And a really crazy one at that, but somehow the 200 damage out of that, a mere freeze, steals away the Gold Fury.
So what you saw out of the Ymir then was he walked up, he auto-attacked because that's a sign that he tried to blink.
Yeah.
But his blink was on cooldown and then just went, oh, damn, freeze, and gets it.
Yeah. Like F-Dot said earlier, you just have to have that quarterback
come on.
memory. Because
Come
what?
Don't say quarterback memory to that. I was just luck.
No. Because he missed the freeze with the blink, and then
okay.
he makes a great play after. Even though he made himself look like a fool with the other blink, he walks in and he has one of the best plays of the game right there. So props to Ionic.
Hey, he pressed freeze and got a goal.
Yeah, I mean,
That was a celebration.
Fnatic, they probably could have secured that a little bit better.
Well,
That
yeah,
was
for
Fnatic's
sure.
throw.
Yeah.
But he
Fnatic
still
threw
took
that.
advantage of that.
He did.
So that's the biggest
I
thing.
did.
Yeah, look at this.
As well.
TSM is going to enjoy their first lead of the game on the back of that play from Ionic.
But the fact that followed after that, what we saw there, Devios did a good job of zoning, like you said, on Reels, but they forgot about Reels, and the rotation from their teammates came in. They got isolated and picked in the jungle while they were busy diving the tower.
Yeah, that's one of those.
Could've been a lot cleaner.
Snoopy, I'm sure Snoopy was sitting there going, "Team?
Yeah.
Anybody here?
It could've-
No one."
It could have been a lot cleaner because you saw them double back into the jungle, like, oh, sorry. And then, like, oh, might as well just keep diving now because you're dead.
Kraken comes out, but it looks like it was absorbed nicely there by Ionic, using his ultimate to avoid any kind of shenanigans there. Divios, that driving strike just off the mark with that wall coming out from Thor there. Now it's Maniac on the front line trying to disrupt as install out this push.
Stall it out for the time being in the jungle, though, because he's Snoopy and Reels having a little bit of an argument, bit of a tiff over there. No one's actually dying at the moment, but they're both trying to size each other up for the rotation more than anything.
You know, it's been kind of funny to see Sun Wukong come back into more and more into the meta because like when the hogs are so prevalent, he was so undervalued or so non-valuable, really. But now people are kind of like, damn, that wave clear is actually pretty good. Yep. Like, if you can't instantly kill my archers, you know, his ability to poke the wave from afar and then have this disruptive impact in the team fights has just been very valuable.
I mean, he goes on the front line, he takes a lot of damage, then he uses his ultimate, goes into the sky, regens all that up again, and then goes again in your face.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, now he's gone for the very, like, traditional build-up here as well, that Runeforged Hammer along with the Mystical Mail. He's just extremely tanky versus physical damage, and Divios is the only real threat to him. I mean, he's the only one that's really going to set up that reliable CC.
I mean, last game as well, we saw it go around 40-odd minutes between the two games. In this composition here, because you were mentioning, like, Fnatic weren't out of it because of the Thanatos. Who's got the advantage this time round?
Fnatic has a really good comp at diving the backline, so Snoopy has to watch out. But TSM also has a really good comp. I feel like it's going to be up to seeing if Herc can get his Metagate wounds off. If he can, TSM's going to win the fights. If he can't, Fnatic's going to come out on top.
I feel like it's Agni and Rama versus Reels on that Freya, and can the Kraken connect, you know? That's how I kind of feel. It's
Look
like
at this build from Gars. I mean, scared. Playing, I mean, that's like lots of respect to Fnatic. Shield of the Underworld because he just figures he's guying in all the fights. Plus 2 of the most cost-efficient health stacking items in the game.
Thor, to the most part, is a defensive god, and when he transitions late game, he's more of a setup god than anything.
Indeed.
And Serket, frontline, Freya, frontline, you know, he's got a lot to deal with in this frontline when he's engaging.
Yeah, with Shield Underworld, I have a lot of experience with it because I like playing aggressive supports with it.
You like aggressive supports, really?
Yeah, I do. I love them.
Never heard of you play one.
But with the Shield Underworld, you could solo out hyper carry targets without a lot of damage. So he can go into those tanky items easier, and he won't get as punished for it.
23.5 minutes into this contest, 11-7 in favor of Fnatic. Although the gold sitting in favor of TSM, as well as the experience, about 4,000 experience, just over 2,500 gold going their way. Still quite close. Experience lending itself a little bit more than the gold at this point.
Surprising what a Gold Fury does to a team, though. This looks like an invigorated TSM just after that Gold Fury going down. That golden experience lead is pretty much all from that Gold Fury.
Yeah, indeed.
It's crazy how that happened.
Well, Badger continues to chip away at the front lines here. Gars and Snoopy trying to get some kind of angle onto Reels there, but his positioning just a little bit too good, unable to find much. Badger dashing out, but now walled off. He's going to take quite a bit of damage here. Unlikely he survives this one. Eagles rally over the top. Kraken uses well, hitting 2. In a bit of trouble is Divios and Ionic. Ionic likely to fall, but finds the freeze. Trying to run out with that heavenly agility. Is it going to be enough? Yes, it will. Divios is going to fall to the poison. Divios pops. No one is there to spread it. Maniac continues to try to engage over here on the left side, taking the damage from the bomb, taking the damage from the shots now from Snoopy. The Whirlpool is used. It's going to keep them there for the moment. Rom takes to the sky. Captain Twig trying to stay in position. Snoopy has to basically peel for himself with these shots. Does he have the rollback available when he lands? He does indeed. Away he moves from Twig, but Twig chases him down. The life still coming out. In comes the Gars, and down will go Snoopy. And no, Snoopy's going to live there. I'm sorry. Down will fall. Of course, the Serket being played by Captain Twig. It's Zeros and Reels remaining here. Reels backing out. Zeros porting out. Really, the first fight TSM has won in spades in the 2 games.
Monstrous fight between the two teams, backwards and forwards, but Team TSM played that perfectly.
Yeah, that fight was all Gars. He had the best walls of this entire tournament so far. He got one to stop the engage by Fnatic, and then he peeled at the end for his teammates. It was great walls.
Well,
that's the reason why they won the
Maniac
fight.
with the 72 transformation. Just as he got into it, he went, whoa, kept him pinned, brought him down, and Snoopy found the autos.
Yeah, great walls.
Whoa, Malice for Serket in the 3rd slot.
Malice is one of these items that goes backwards and forwards between a lot of people of whether it does more damage than a Deathbringer. Realistically, it all depends.
Well, mathematically, it does do a little bit more damage.
It does, but you have to confirm it in every scenario, and Deathbringer doesn't proc and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's right.
It's close.
But if they both proc, Malice does more damage over time. Not by a lot. It's actually really, really, really minuscule, in fact.
Well, we get to that area now where crit's coming online, and we're also seeing plenty of penetration coming online too. Spear of the Magus is being finished as well.
Another thing with the Malice is it could help finish off targets with Serket ult, so it has a better chance to spread, so maybe that's what he's thinking. But Deathbringer with the higher burst could as well, so it's just whatever your mindset is, really. And his is more of the dot mindset than the burst damage.
As Captain Twig right now, would you be looking to try and take out Hercules? DVO seems to be a bigger issue, which I'm surprised at because of the amount of, you know...
Well, he should be ulting Hercules unless it's a guaranteed kill.
I feel like he should hold his ult so TSM's scared of it. Okay. Sometimes holding ults are better in team fights, and if he's holding it, Herc can't really go aggressive. Once he ult, Herc is going to be running into their back lane. So he has like the key to how the team fights are going to go. If he ults early, it's bad. If he ults later on in the team fight, it'll be really good for Fnatic.
TSM trying to make a play happen here. Gold Fury started up for them. Twig and Real spotted it out. The rest of the team rallying. There's still a slat fight going over on the right side in the solo lane. Gold Fury getting quite low now, under 30%. Snoopy's going to reset it for the moment. They're not going to find Reals there. Now they will. They'll find the stun. Kraken used to keep Yannick zoned out. This has been the story of every team fight so far. Yannick moves in to find the stun and gets hit by the Kraken. Sun Wukong, of course, rotating over now. Divios coming in as well. Here comes Captain Twig. He uses the ultimate right away onto Bushu. Hits the Aegis. Up into the sky goes Rom. He's zoning out Reals. Reals out of this fight for the moment. He can only chip away at the edges now. Up goes Bush.
Still looking for Bush. They're still looking for Bush on the backside, but they're not finding him. Degaz re-engages though. Zeros is taking a lot of damage from the boat. A great freeze from Yannick to allow Snoopy to find the in-hand. And now Reals and Badger and Maniac are the last standing, but Reals finds one back.
Real's able to find that one. Can they secure this? Divio's trying to make it away in, but he's slowed out by the Bologna. Nice done to get Reals free there. And somehow Fnatic manages not give up too much.
Wow.
Whoa! Your boy Reals picking up the blink. Now going to go for the recall, and Badger going to prevent them from coming around forward. The backstab, Gold Fury, of course, still standing, but with no Hunter to try to take advantage of that. Gold Fury will remain alive.
2 for 2 across the board. Fight went backwards and forwards, but
Reals played amazing that fight. One of the most annoying things to play against as any player is a Freya with good positioning. He kept weaving in and out of the fight. He had the perfect ultimate to finish Snoopy out. It was just a really great fight by Reals, and that's the reason why they were able to win that fight so hard.
I don't even care if, TSM win this one. I'm pretty sure they're going to ban Freya next time or take it away. They can't keep giving it to Reals because Reals is, like you're saying, he's playing fantastic on it all the way time.
Reals seems more impactful than Funball did in the first set with the Freya. It seemed like, and when we heard even from Trix when they were talking about why they kept on drafting the Freya, it was like, we think she's good and available. But here it seems like something else. Gar's going up.
Reset.
Forced to reset is Fnatic. You see Maniac's like, okay, sure, yeah, I'll run forward. Yeah,
honestly,
good luck, buddy.
I think if Fnatic would have known that Thor was alone then, they would have let him dunk in and they would have killed him.
Well, I think it was good that they reset there. They got Thor out for free. If Ymir has Blink, he could get in there. They don't have Hog 3 for the secure anymore because it doesn't exist. So it's smarter just to take the free win. It's a little win, but it's free.
Well, we say it doesn't exist, but who's doing 1,000 damage to the Gold Fury?
Blink
I mean,
free.
it's just Poseidon,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if Fnatic picks up a Hog 3, there's really nothing TSM can do.
Yeah, but you could sync spells together. Like you could have the Poseidon's Tidal Surge and you could have the Wukong's 1 at the same time. It'll do as much as a Hog 3. If you're stacking abilities...
Right, no. But
you
what
could
if
burst it.
Fnatic picks up a Hog 3 now?
Oh, okay.
How does TSM even come close to dealing that 2,000 burst?
Ramal, Agni Meteor.
Right, it takes both of them having it at the same time.
There's a lot of twos and throws between it. I mean, the whole fight around that Gold Fury that time as well. Zero's used the Kraken on Ionic again, and he's not getting the kill that we were looking for. He needs to save it because Bush lived so much longer in that fight because he had Aegis still that he managed to survive the dive from Twig.
I think it was fine that he... I think the Twig ult was the thing that was bad for Fnatic in the fight. He
should have Reals though, right?
No, it didn't because he
initiated.
Initiated, and he should have held it longer. The Kraken was good. It made it so Ymir couldn't run into the backline and freeze backline characters, which made the fight really easy for Fnatic. If Twig held his ult, I think Fnatic would have won that fight way harder.
I can just hear Zeros just going, okay, I stunned the Ymir. Like, that's pretty much like his team fight, right? That's all he's saying in comms right now. Like, I just wait for Ymir to come in and free somebody, and then I use Kraken.
And I go boom.
Yeah, he's making the game easier for Reals. That's all he's trying to do.
I mean, it's really true. I mean, they're just trying to make the room for the Freya. And Reals has shown that there's a reason why he played this god even when she wasn't considered good.
7-0-1 right now. He's now
That's a combined, like 13-1 in assists for the 2 games now?
He's literally just picked up Rodder Tahuti as well, so that damage is going to skyrocket once more. Still 1 item left as well, and
There's not a lot of feelings in Smite that are better than finishing Rada Tahuti with your Fatalis Magus Freya.
Yes, please.
Or Demonic Grip for that matter. I mean, it's just like, you just start crushing people.
I mean, the step after getting Rada Tahuti on any god, generally a mage, you're looking again Soul Reaver, and then you know your life is complete. But Rada Tahuti, it does so much in the team fight.
Yeah, now, honestly, in this game, I'd probably be looking for a Magus Blessing on him as his final item. Just because of the CC that can come out.
I agree with that, but Magus Blessing took a little bit of a tumble in terms of, like, viability, especially with the cooldown being increased once again. So,
but from what we've seen out of Fnatic, right? I mean, he only needs to really shirk off 1 or 2 CCs, and then they're going to be able to collapse around him and secure that retreat. And he's done a really good job of dancing in and out, which is why I'd like to see Magi's to kind of keep him, Reals at 20% seems about as effective as a normal player at 100 in his team fights.
Once
again, Nice Wall's going to lock Badger in here, but the bandage coming out on top of Ionic to save him for the moment. The bomb's coming off to the right side here, and Bush now caught off into an awkward position. Moving forward is Badger.
He had to
Beads are used. Badger locked off from the rest of TSM.
See how they disengage straight away, though, because now Fnatic could realize beads are down on Bush. We can reset, go again. We're looking at Bush.
That's right, but he does still have that Aegis available. We saw it come into effect last fight when Circuit initiated onto him, but it's a nice pin in here. Zeros. He's going to be forced to use the Kraken there.
Should
Can they
be on
follow
the
up?
world.
Yannick should have a blink.
Rom
No, it's going to be Rom ultimate. Kenny finds the last shot. Oh, why are they making this so difficult for themselves? They made it so hard. Oh, but Gar's able to secure that
But
one.
what's going on left-hand side? They're still trying to engage, and they're going to find a
Oh, a
pick there.
huge kill.
Reels,
A huge kill. Reels
go
goes down to the dot from Agni. The fight continues. Boulder comes through, but Summer Kong already up.
Ooh,
It's just a
poison.
complete, absolute bloodbath here as the fight continues. Gar's sunned out. The poison is spreading. The poison is not popped on Gar's. He's going to be able to make it on time. No, Jingo Bang over the top. Maniac gets that kill. Amir ultimate. Boom goes the dynamite. Badger may fall here as well. It could be the full team wipe. No, Twig has run far, far away back to the base. Down will fall Bologna as well. And a tier 2 in the sights for Team Solo Mid.
Big fight for TSM there. Is it? No, it's Fire Giant. It's not a tier 2. They're going to go Fire Giant here. It's only Twig alive. Twig cannot burst this or potentially steal it. It's going to be too hard.
Yeah.
What's he going to do? I mean, he could get a double taunt off
Yannick
to save
ultimate
it.
not available though. Amir ultimate is really a big key to taking these
Double
objectives
taunt.
early.
His
Double
best
taunt.
chance is to try to kill Snoopy. He just got some fire damage taken. That's the beat.
Eesh. Yeah, but they can't afford to try to kill Twig here. If they try to kill Twig, it's going to get into a position where they may lose to the Fire Giant here. It does a lot of damage. Yeah, they're perfectly happy just to zone him out and take the Fire Giant. Is anyone going to spawn in time for it? No. Looks like Bush and Guards will not get the benefit, but
Great
Divios,
call.
Yannick, Snoopy, your two frontliners getting the benefit of the Fire Giant buff. Going to be very beneficial for the upcoming push.
Absolutely great call.
Yo, is he going to do it? Oh.
He nearly landed that over the wall. If he hit that, that would have been play of the game by far. Even over Yannick's freeze.
Okay.
Which freeze? The one that,
The Soul Gold
the one that
Fury.
blinked for it and hit no one?
Yes,
or the one
that
that stole
one.
the Gold Fury? Oh, the good one.
Yes,
Right,
the good
yeah. That makes sense.
Not the one that stole the goal for you. That was terrible. 17-16 though, and now three members with the Fire Giant for TSM. They've got themselves in a much better position in this game. I mean, you were saying, or late game, if Devios survives, you feel like TSM are going to have this, and now with the Fire Giant on these members too, you still feeling that way now?
Yeah, it's really up to Reels to do like the majority of the damage here. Poseidon's just going to be for zone control. Wukong's going to deal with their backline. Whoever kills the front line first is going to win these fights, I feel like. So yeah, if Divios lives longer than Fnatic's front line, TSM's going to win.
Rare catch on Reels though in the jungle there, and that
Yeah, it was.
rotation from the jungle.
You know what was interesting in that last fight was how much Shield of the Underworld factored into that fight for the Thor. You saw him just barely surviving at that 30-40 HP. All that damage you took was being reflected back, and it was a big reason why they helped turn that fight.
I actually think as well, when Snoopy went to the sky there and started sniping onto zeros in mid, he's the one that probably spotted the rotation from Reels.
Yeah, that fight was all Gars there. He had great double taps. He set the fight up really well with all the poke before, and then he landed right on Poseidon with the Shield of Underworld and almost took him out by himself.
Path of Flames does a ton of damage to stationary objectives that you see here between Snoopy and Bush, able to take this one down really, really quickly. Not to mention Gars, with that Titan's Bane, does get the benefit against structures and objectives, that 33% shred coming his way.
Well, I mean, if this game keeps going the way it's going, we'll guarantee 4 games, which we guaranteed already. I mean, we were all pretty sure it was going to go that way. There's going to be no clean sweep for either of these teams today.
Yeah, I mean, the big difference here is that it's a similar composition from Fnatic. It's a similar composition from TSM. It's just gone the other way, where the execution requirement is just so high for Fnatic to pick these guys off around the edges. It takes really great individual play to make it happen. TSM, even with Divios not getting off to a great start, his driving strike in these team fights has really made a lot of space.
It is Tetsuta on the left is going to fall down. Devios and Degars doing great work in the jungle, just his own members away. Badger gets picked a little bit again there, and that's one of the times that they had a bad engagement with Fnatic when Badger was on the front line a little bit too far forward, didn't want to waste the Eagles rally. And now we see Devios doing the zoning work here, but he's basically going to start zone so they can start taking down these tier 2s.
Yeah, there's very little you can do against the Hercules with Fire Giant buff. Mitigate wounds plus that percentage tick. If he's taking sufficient damage is like hundreds of health a second. So, yeah, I mean, unless they get all 5 members onto him and get him CC'd down, it's pretty much unreliable that you'll ever get a kill on him. And now TSM will turn their attention to the final tier 2 here after wiping out Fnatic's jungle.
Feels a little bit more cleaner as well, this game from TSM. I mean, they didn't look all there together, all on the same page all the time. Communications when we listened in didn't sound fantastic either, but this game it seems that they found where they needed to be.
Fnatic looks like they want to fight, posturing up, looking for the engagement. Bionic going to zone them out, and yeah, that's going to be that. They're going to move back. It's a 3-man freeze. Forces out one beads. Reels.
Really panicked then.
Reels beads going down there is huge.
He was really worried about the engagement. Because when Reels jumps up and down like that, it's like, I messed up. He's just like, that's his jumping like, damn, I shouldn't have beads, then I was safe. A lot of players do it, and you don't actually realize that's what the jump means.
Yeah, as a support, you're like, I'm just blinking here trying to get beads. We're not trying to fight. Just get the objective, and then He got the beat.
Divio's banished. He's going to need a Kraken as well. Down to about 3/4 HP. Mitigate wounds was not active there. Now no healing for him either. He's forced out of this fight for the moment. Oh, he's not going to get Twig though. Twig dashes away in the direction he wasn't expecting. Look how far Maniac is in the back line. Tossed back though by Divios. Is the kill on the Badger from Snoopy, who was up in the air at the time. Nicely played. One more shot coming in, nearly enough to finish off Maniac. It ends up being a 1-for-1 trade though, but with boost down, I can't imagine TSM's going to try to siege.
But also, Ionic's very low on HP there. I mean, they're going to have to let him regen a little bit. They've got Fire Giant still on the 3 members.
Imagine if Snoopy's ultimate didn't get a kill there on the Badger. That would have been a clean 1-for-0 defending the base against the Fire Giant.
Really good pickup as well. He looked like we saw Captain Twig go aggressive on the front line with Zeros, looking for the pick on Divios. And then on the backside, Maniac diving in deep there and finds himself the kill with the help of Badger.
36.5 minutes now elapsed into this game, guys. 18 to 17 kills. Still in favor of Fnatic as it has been all game. But TSM enjoying a pretty robust lead now as we take a look at the graphs. It's about 10,000, nearly 11,000 gold to their credit, 12,000 experience, but with the level 20s starting to come out, that experience becomes less and less valuable, but the gold still important here. 11,000 to the credit of TSM. That's an extra couple items.
We just saw Snoopy go back, get Deathbringer finished as well, but he also, I'm not sure what he sold, but he got Assy in its place, and I can't work out what that was. Was that Execution, or was it? Oh, it's Igval. He sold Igval in place of Assy here. He's looking for the extra penetration as well as the survivability from that lifesteal.
Yeah, and he's fully 6-slotted now, and even that gold starts to taper off as players are forced to basically replace items to get any more value out of it.
Yeah, it's all about that Aussie passive for the Hunters. They love that.
Extra sustain during the fights, especially when you're low HP.
A couple of Pestilences out as well for TSM. Not only a high HP magical defense item, but also an anti-heal item to help with that Freya. Maniac in a bit of trouble perhaps, but he's Sun Wukong.
Yeah, he's someone going to be okay for the time being. Not going to use his
wow, look at the positioning. So bizarre by Reels. Tries to flank the team there. Now it's forced up into Valkyrie's discretion to get anything done. Divios, nice ball to their huge burst. Down will go Reels. This fight starting to turn back in favor of TSM. Down will go Zeros as well. Badger likely to fall here. The stun's coming through. The chain CC. Down he goes. Only Maniac and Twig remaining. And Snoopy, look at the positioning, cutting off their escape. Not much they can do. Ox form out, knocking up the team. Fire Giant has come back up though, and this one looks free. They'll take out Maniac as a consolation prize as well. Once again, Twiggy runs back to the base. They're going to go for the end here. Moving forward with confidence. It's Ionic, Divios, Boosh, Snoopy, and the guards as they look for a win in game number 2 versus Fnatic.
Fight from Fnatic there was not good at all. Reels, don't know why he was committed so far forward, but the moment he used his ultimate is the moment we saw Dagars take to the sky with that Thor, dunk down on his face, deleted, and the rest of the team fell to the wayside, as does the Phoenix, as does the game.
Yeah, good thing the Snoopy was ROM there. You saw he actually tried to roll forward and got cut off by that Gars wall, but just popped his astral arrows and shot right through that wall. But yes, you will see it now. The Titan to fall, and Team Solo Mid will take game number 2 away from Fnatic, and we're all square at 1-1.
1-1, and this is the tale of the two teams. I mean,